Hi, everybody who's joining in. We are just going to start in the next 2 minutes. We're waiting for more people to join in. Hi, hello. It's so good to see all of you here. All right, I'm gonna get our guest for today, Sujata Kolagi, right here live with us. Sujata, are you in there? If you can just wave at me, let me find you. I am super excited for this one. It is an amazing Saturday evening. Yeah, so good. So good to see all of you. And where is my friend Sujata? Sujata, would you just wave at me if you're there? Let me get you in. I do not see you. Let's figure this out. Let me get this. All right, here I see you. Awesome.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. Hey, it's so good to have you here.
Lovely to be here as well. This is so nice to be on the first Instagram. I believe this is absolutely amazing. I can see others are joining as well. So we'll give it another moment or so to start. Thank you for having me over.
Exactly. It's such a pleasure. It's such a pleasure. And thank you for taking our time to do this with us. So maybe one more minute. I'm sure there are more friends at your end also who are joining in. So
Of
it's
course.
just good to give them like a minute to kind of groove in and yeah, get into this whole thing. So
I've
how's
been
it?
the first ever live chat, so I was finding it a little hard to get in here, and this is fine. So I think I'm in the right space in the right place. So let's get this bus on the road, as they say.
Yes, absolutely. Right here. Very much right here. Okay. The clock is 4:05 right now. I guess we gotta get it started, right? All right. Oh, by the way, guys, I hope we are audible enough at both the ends. Just in case you feel any lack of voice or clarity, just send out a wave, please. Hi, Neha. It's so good to see you here. By the way, let us know where you're joining in from. You know, from India or Singapore. If you can just put it in your comment box. All our audience there. It's so exciting to see everybody here.
I see a lot of friends already, so a big shout out to everyone who's here.
Thank you,
It's so
everybody.
exciting.
I know.
And I'm just going to show you around. It's a beautiful evening here in Singapore. So I want to just have everyone take a look at where I'm at. And this is the space that I'm here. Hello, great to see you, everyone. And this is what I'm looking at in Singapore.
Wow,
Hi, Angela.
This is like a personal sanctuary. My goodness, it's beautiful.
And the sun is going down soon, so hopefully you can join me in this gorgeous sunset.
The sunset.
Hi,
Wow.
Sarvan. This is good to see you. It's wonderful, everyone. Thanks for joining me. We are going to get started in another minute or so, right? Okay.
Yes, that was a good peep in, by the way. That was unexpected. Awesome. Right. Okay, so everybody, I just like to introduce our amazing radiant guest for today evening conversation. In fact, it's a Saturday evening, it's a weekend evening, so thank you everybody for joining in. Though I think every day is like a weekend at the moment for all of us. So Sujata, apart from being a very dear friend, she's an international expert on integrative healing, holistic healing, and all things that are wellness and diet, be it emotional health or physical health, mental health. This woman just knows it all. And it's so amazing, you know. I mean, I've known her for years and been such a staunch admirer of Sujata's. Every time I've met her, she's left a deep impact on me. So, you know, this is such a sensitive time right now. People are experiencing mixed set of emotions. And why do I see your screen frozen? Oh, that looks like a frozen screen. Sujata, are you with us? Okay, network. Kind of in the evening. Oh, good. Okay, so you're gonna join us again. Yeah, so I was talking about Sujata, and she's back here in the room with us, right here, getting you back in. Thank you for your patience.
Okay, great. I'm back. I'm back here. Okay.
Yeah, got you back again. Okay. Don't set before the sun sets.
All right. So this is a new medium for me as well. So big shout out to everyone, and thanks so much for having me here. So I missed the introduction, but I'm sure that you know, for those of you who don't know me, follow me on my Instagram handle. It's Pragya Yoga and Wellness, and I'm hoping to connect with you deeper there. There's just so much that I want to share today with you, and there are just top tips that I'm really wanting to share today. So I'm just wanting to say how wonderful it is to have this chat with you. I'd love to call her the spiritual badass, and I know that, you know, it sounds like she's totally.
I am wearing my spiritual badass t-shirt today.
How cool is that to wear a spiritual badass t-shirt? But that's who she is. And badass. What does that even mean? What's a spiritual badass, Rakhi?
All right. Okay, that's fun. I love to answer that. So spiritual badass is spiritual. Of course, we all know. You know, that is really deep inside who all of us are. You know, we are all spiritual beings in a human body, and I've always been a believer of that, and, you know, given to my spiritual inclinations. And I feel spiritual badass is really the way of living spirituality in contemporary times. You know, I mean, you do not have to go and live out there on mountains anymore in our millennium and century to feel spiritual. I think one can just be at home, live a life of a commoner, and yet have a very, very spiritual life. And by badass, I actually mean being awesome in everything you do, you know, be it your business, or if you're an artist, or if you're an influencer, or maybe an athlete, or anything, you know, just being awesome at what you're doing. So for me, you know, and I know you're also that kind of a person. We are so much like an East meets West sort of a mentality, right? That sort of a philosophy. So I think that is where it comes from, being a spiritual badass. Yeah, being very contemporary with your spirituality. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's get started with the conversation as such. You know, it's always fun. There's so many things to talk about. But in general, today we are sort of, I think it might help to put things in the context here as we are in our homes. And I know everyone's doing whatever they can. Wherever you're watching from, I know you're doing your best to stay healthy and be fit. And I just want to enhance that and give you and share some of my secrets with you, and share some of the things that I'm doing that you might want to do, so that, you know, from survival, you move to revival, and then you're thriving. So from survive, revive to thrive, and wow, flourishing even in these times. So so fire away, Rakhi, and let's you know,
yeah.
if there's.
So before you froze into the sunset, I was just mentioning that, you know, how everyone is going through such mixed emotions right now. Of course, there's a lot of frustration, there's fear and anxiety, and everybody has their own sets of emotion, you know, moving from social connect to social distancing. Some people have elderly parents at home, or some have young kids, and they're homeschooling. So there are all sorts of mixed emotions, and I think every emotion is fine at this point of time. And And just to tell everybody, you know, that Sujata is one person who has such incredible tools, you know, for a happy and a healthy living to help us sail through these emotions very, very strongly. And that is where I leave it to you, Sujata. You know, you have been an early adopter to this whole COVID scenario. You logged on to Zoom and you started putting out your free sessions over there, and then you're working with some amazing corporates. I mean, I know about your wellness program that you're doing with the corporates in Singapore right now. I mean, big names like Amazon and BNB.
Well, you know, I think it's,
yeah.
you know, these are, I think, like I said, everyone is doing what you absolutely, you know, can in the constraints that we have. So, you know, we each have a square in which to work out of. I often like to think of it as, you know, the constraint is that square, something like what's behind me. But what we can do inside of it is up to us. We can weave whatever patterns that we, you know, we choose to. And our choices depend on the quality of our life and whatever we choose in these days, because we hardly get a time to introspect or to self-reflect. So I think when you have that time to do that, it's absolutely wonderful to you know, to get that time to reinvent yourself. So to my mind, there are 5 things, and everyone give me a high five. Can you
High
give me a high
five! High
five?
five,
There we
guys!
go.
High
Yeah.
five!
So in that high
Yes.
five, I think there's 5 factors that I want to talk about, and these are the 5 factors. I want to give you specific things that you can do on each one of them. These are my favorite tools. So oh, there's people giving me high five. So high five, Deepa, and
By the way,
high
I just
five,
want to get up and show my excitement. I am so excited about this one, you know. I mean that's
all
the
right.
fun part about
So
a
the
new way of
5.
life. Yeah,
Isn't it?
Nana,
So we
hi,
are
hi.
so connected, and you know, there's already about 60 people and more joining us from everywhere. So it's just such a vibrant, positive community. And I think that, you know, Instagram allows us this kind of an interaction which we wouldn't have, you know, otherwise. We couldn't have a party with, you know, 60 people, 70 people in there
I
just
know.
like that. So getting this is just very exciting for me. So coming back to my 5, let me talk
Yes,
about
sure.
those 5 real quick. So first and foremost is that we are just sitting the whole time, whether we are working or looking at, you know, our phones. We really want to get ourselves into a space where we are moving. So just my mantra for that one is movement is medicine. So get up and move, and some simple things that you can do to move your body. So, you know, just stand up and give yourself a good shake out your hands, shake out your head, and just lift your shoulders and roll them back and down a bit. And there are, you know, these points around your ears. So just pull your ears 1, 2, and 3 there. So just stimulating these ears. A
Okay.
lot of lymphs are around these parts. So, you know, give yourself a little tap, 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 and then give yourself a little pat on the back. So just a little massage here. So that kind of
Okay.
feels really nice to do that, just loosening up the joints. If you know, if you're interested, of course, you can jump into any of my classes that I offer, and you know, head on to pragyayoga.com and you'll find, you know, my offerings, class offerings there. But simple things like just moving the wrists around, and then here's a very simple one to get rid of any tiredness that you have, any negativity that's sort of bothering you. Then here's what you do: take a deep breath. Let's do this together, Raki. Let's do this together.
Let's do it.
So
Let's do it.
and rid the world of everything that's sort of dark and sort of unhappy. So taking a deep breath. And as you do that, just acknowledge the feelings within you, just whatever is sort of unhappy space. And then as you breathe out, draw your hands and all that energy out, which is not serving you anymore, and take a deep breath. Exhale and just let it out. You know, just make your hands like that, and breathing out, just let it go. Just let it go. 1, 2, 3, out. That's it. That's it. And let it go.
Got it.
So and then the next breath in, just take in another pure positive breath in through your nose, and then just breathe out from your mouth. Let's do that one more time. Breathe in through your nose and just let go, breathing out from your mouth. So just this kind of coming back home, as it were, centering back and really being super kind to yourself. super, super, super kind, because kindness is key. And we really need all the love that we can to ourselves and to the world around us and the planet outside. So it's really, really important to love. So that's the first one, is the physical movement part. The second is the breath, because wherever we have access to our breath. So there are techniques to calm the mind down and techniques to feel uplifted and happy. So times when you're feeling really down and out and not so great, it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to feel that way. I'm loving all the hearts that are coming up and all the comments. This is so nice. But when times that you really feel down and out, you need to pep up yourself and tell yourself, you're going to get through this. This is not the end of the world. We can make a difference and we can do stuff. So just easy breathing, 3-part breathing. Like I said, when you breathe in, take in the breath in through the nose and then breathe out through the mouth if it gets too overwhelming. Another super easy technique is to breathe in through the nose and then close your eyes and just make a humming sound, and then feel that sort of energy to calm you down. And you can do this about 2 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes in the evening, and just sort of let everything settle a bit. So my third thing, and this is really, really cool, okay? So if you have papers and pens or just want to take it down, my recipe with you. So this recipe, okay.
Sorry, I'm just gonna pause you a little bit here. Can you hear us, Sujata? Your screen seems to be frozen again. Okay, you're there. So, just for our viewers, Sujata, I can't hear you. Do you want to check your volume button? I can't hear you. Guys, can you hear Sujata, or is it just at my end? Please give a thumbs up if you can hear Sujata. I can't hear you. No, I can't hear you. Yeah, if you just check. If you have Bluetooth on, maybe you can check your Bluetooth. Yeah, I guess they can't hear you. No. Okay, Sujata, do you want to go out and pop in back again? Okay, do you want to go out and come back again, Sujata? Join in again? Yeah, there's no audio. I get that, yes. We'll have her back in again. So while she was talking about the breathing exercises, I wanted her to take us through over the real relevance. No. Can't hear you. No. Yeah, come back again. Okay, guys, we can, thank you, Adish, for saying that. I think in the meantime, we can just continue breathing, use this 1 minute to breathe again. No, can't hear you. So we'll keep breathing while Sujata is back. Let's just keep taking deep breath in and exhale out any stress or frustration. Go out, darling, come back again. So do you want to talk without your Bluetooth? Maybe that's interfering. And guys, for the rest of us, let's keep breathing. Do you want to join back again? That's much better. Right. This actually helps. Actually takes the stress out of the brain. There's no two ways about it. It's seriously each other. Okay, tech help is on the way. Thank you. Hello? Yes, yes, we're getting her to join back again. Absolutely. Thank you. I feel so relaxed with that breathing. I'm not stressed. No, not at all. And I hope everybody is breathing. Yes. She was actually trying to give us a demo of the breathing. I think she taught us and she left us with a practical. Oops, 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 oops. Okay, we got that back. Sujata, Sujata, where are you? Where are you? Back again in the room. There we go. There we go. Yes, yes, yes. Coming
Okay, back online.
Where did you go away? Where did you
Thank you
go
for
away? Yeah.
I was on the airport, so thank you for your patience, everyone. So as I was
Yeah.
saying, so we looked at the 5 things. The first was movement and medicine. Movement is medicine. So trying to move at regular intervals, whether it's just getting up from your chair and walking about a little bit. I think, oh, Dr. Chintan Sheth is here. I'm so excited that you are. And I'm just
Hello.
seeing the number of names, and it's so exciting. So getting to my magic immunity boosters, okay? So I know that it sounds like, it's all over the place, but friends from Singapore will find this very useful. This is what I call my go-to for anything, anytime I feel like a little sore throat or a tickle coming in, or I find that the kids are sniffling a bit. I know that COVID is, the COVID-19 situation is more like an upper respiratory and a lung issue. So keeping this tract healthy and happy is something that we want to do with a traditional Ayurveda-based remedy, which I absolutely swear by. So let me share that with you before anything else. So I'm sure you recognize this one. The first person to tell me what this is gets a golden star. So go ahead, tell me what it is. Okay.
Guys over there.
So
the yellow,
can you identify powder. This one, the magic powder?
Yeah. Okay. The yellow
so the haldi or turmeric, that's it. Nikita Bansal seems to have got this one. So organic haldi, and then adding cinnamon to it. So awesome. So cinnamon powder as well, and adding cinnamon and haldi, black pepper, and this is ground ginger. So getting ginger as well, and putting it in a milk base and stirring it up. And the last thing that I like to have it a little bit sweeter, so I like to add maple syrup or honey in once it's hot, and just before having it, I add a little bit of maple syrup to it. Right. And drink it. This is just the most amazing, and truly it's delicious, but it's also great when you're getting a little bit sick. So that's my absolute favorite golden milk to have. And I think you would love it because, so to recap again, there's haldi or turmeric, black pepper, cinnamon powder, ground ginger, and maple syrup. And you add in milk. Right. If to milk, obviously use things like almond milk or rice milk or any other milks that you may be having. So don't say that you're just coconut. You could have not coconut milk really, but any of the nut milks would be good. And then the other recipe that I super love is something that is very, very, very delicious. Can you guess what this is?
That looks like fermented lemons or something.
Great. Yes, Raki. So that's what it is. Yes. So Raki, this one has, it's a super easy one. Okay, so someone's asking me black pepper fine or coarse. You could add any black pepper. In India, the pepperine is also the thing. Because that question came up, I'm going to say give you the research with it, because I was once sharing stage with one of the WHO experts on Ayurveda, and he has written a paper which says that it increases the potency of the usage of, turmeric or haldi 2,000 times if you mix it with black pepper. So when pepper and turmeric come together, it's absolutely a deadly combination. And mixing them together in a fat base like milk is just phenomenal. So absolutely must try. Okay. Coming back to this one, this is not dry lemons.
Sorry, I'm
nice
just
try though.
Yep. I'm going to poke you in. Somebody asked for the quantities to add in the golden milk. So how much of black pepper that would be?
So this is a teaspoon. I would use 1/4 of a teaspoon of all those when you're having it just for yourself. And if you're making more, then just portion accordingly and add the maple syrup as per your sweetness levels that you like. Okay. Here's, Raki, you can post the recipe later, and I'm sure she will post those later. So coming back to this one, we are going to look at how this is made. This is a recipe shared out by my really good friend and chef. Her name is Michelle. So a big shout out to Michelle from Australia. The way she's taught me to make it is the way I'll share it. So you just take regular lemon or lime or any citrus. I like to take the yellow lemons, the big lime and lemon, and cut them like I have here into small sort of triangles, and then put them in a jar until you fill it up all the way. And then take some ginger root and then grate that ginger root in the jar itself. So I've taken the ginger and grated it, and then top it over with honey. And I know there's some people from New Zealand. I know it's super late for you guys, but you're still here. So top it up with New Zealand Manuka or whatever honey. Your best honey that is. It has lots of healing properties, anti-inflammatory. And you top it up and you close the jar and you leave it near your kitchen sink or wherever it gets some brightness or light. And then you let it sit for 3 days until it begins to ferment. And then it becomes a little bit, so if you can see, it's more liquidy. If I shake it, the honey wouldn't shake, but because it's fermented, it gets a lot thinner. And then you can just sort of put it in the refrigerator, and every day just have 1 spoon each, which is like a tablespoon each for everyone in the family. And this is just an absolutely gorgeous go-to, immunity booster. So these are my absolute favorite ones to
so you just have it like that. You just have like you put your spoon in
and it's super yummy.
That's it.
Someone's question is, can turmeric be had in the hot summer? Yes, you can have turmeric in hot summer, particularly as an immune booster. Turmeric is a little bit drying in nature. So you don't want to have this every day, but when you find that, your immunity needs to be bumped up a little bit, then you can have it for sure. Okay, so that was my, oh yes, absolutely yum. That's true.
Yeah. Wow. Nice.
Yep.
Right.
So that's about the diet.
So I guess we can move on to some more questions.
No, lemon or lime is best. Yep. Not oranges, because oranges tend to disintegrate. So definitely lemon or lime. Okay, cool. Let's move on to the next. What's on your mind now, Raki?
Okay, so we'll get deeper from here, from food to mind. Let's move to mind. So I am very, very inquisitive to know, Sujata, there are all things bright and dark coming out of this whole situation of the pandemic. And of course, like they said, there is a silver line to the cloud too. So I want to know, and what is the most amazing thing that has emerged for you through this crisis? And if anybody has any question or anything, please continue posting in the dialogue box there.
Okay, so the mind is a big one, right? So we talk about speed, we talk about, everything here and now. And what this particular pandemic has done is that it's turned all our certainties into, we are questioning all of that. All of a sudden, there's no certainty, like, there's nothing that's, that's for sure. You don't know when you can take the next flight out. You don't know when your kids will go to school. You don't know anything. And, in that space, you're transported back in a way to the beginner's mind, because you're left with thinking like there's really, life is unpredictable. And, that is an actual realization that we feel and we can live it, because nothing's certain really. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And the world that we live in is sort of altered forever in some ways, you know. And this,
Right.
to my mind, how we are right now, you know, the 70, 80 of us from around the world now, this with this absolutely incredible energy is what I find the most inspiring. That, you know, in crisis, oftentimes when, you know, things go completely haywire, we are then able to emerge stronger. We are able to emerge much, much more resilient. So this mental resilience is, I think, something that has happened very, very, very important for us to look at, and really spending some time being kind to ourselves. So here there are four words that I'd like to share with you, and very quick practices for each of them, right? For the mind.
Okay.
So these are, you know, like we go out to a gym and we like to work out. We should work out in our mental gym as well, because I think when we exercise kindness, we exercise love. Our entire body and our immune system inside out reflects. It reflects that energy. Beautiful. It reflects that joy and kindness that we show to ourselves. It just comes like a boomerang right back to us in so many stronger ways. So
I love that.
Here are the 4 words, okay? And again, I'll be happy to spell them out for you later on. So the first one is Maitri, okay? In Sanskrit, it's called Maitri, and I often lead meditations, and we can spend days just talking about this. Maitri in the Buddhist tradition, it's in the Pali language, it's called Metta, M-E-T-T-A, Metta. And in Sanskrit, it's called Maitri. And oftentimes, Maitri is translated as loving kindness. If you're from the Buddhist tradition, if you're from the yoga tradition, you know, it's sort of just opening ourselves to goodness and welcoming the goodness everywhere. You're just saying welcome. Everything is welcome here. Even things that don't feel right are okay. And it is what it is. These are like thoughts, like, you know, clouds in the sky. They just come and go. And to have that sensitivity to it, that gentleness to ourselves. So that's Maitri. The second one sounds like the virus, but is the antidote to virus. And so it's called Karuna. And it sounds like Corona, but it's Karuna, and Karuna is compassion. So it's, and again, compassion, when one thinks of it, we think of them suffering out there and us sort of, you know, in a good space. And it almost seems like you're giving a pity or pitifulness to those people out there suffering. And it's, to my mind, it's not that. To my mind, it's just opening ourselves to being human and remembering our humanness, and that we are all in it together. So that really puts us in a space where there is no sort of us and them anymore. And just like, you know, I'm welcoming you to my house, and, you know, I'm as much in Raki's living room right now as she is in my balcony. And as you all are, wherever you're in my heart right now, right here. So that's sort of compassion, I think, Karuna.
Yeah.
And then there's the third one is Mudita. I love this one the best because it's a lazy person's meditation. And Mudita means being happy, really being happy. And oftentimes we think of happiness as being happiness to ourselves. But this one talks about being happy for another person. So really enjoying and participating in another person's joy. So rejoicing in someone's goodness, like someone had a baby, like my cousin had a baby in Boston, and, you know, this baby was born in Corona situation. And we were so excited because, wow, this baby is born. And it's that happiness that comes in. It's not your baby, but, you know, you participate in that joy. And that joy, you know, at a very physiological level, it does a lot of good for ourselves, because every cell in our body, it's like putting an armor of immunity when you participate in happiness. So at a neurological level, at a very physiological level, happiness and happy hormones, you know, the serotonin, the dopamine in the body, they light up and brighten up our ability to fight disease and our capacity to not get ill or sick. So to my mind, that's just a fabulous one. And the last one is called Upeksha. That means treating everyone or all in a similar way. So everything is similar, and you don't treat one as higher or lower. thinking of beings as extra special, or those who are in our inner circle and not in, when it comes to relationships, for example, you think of your own family as being closer, and we'll talk about relationships next week probably more in detail. But I think these are very, very key things to do, and these are the very things we want to explore in the classes that I offer, or in the in the workshops that I offer. I think these are the things that I focus on. It's absolutely amazing.
Awesome.
So that's my mind things to do for the mind.
I was just carrying with such a beautiful energy and emotion, and while you were saying this, I was telling to myself that I'm going to recall all these 4 names, thinking they are my female friends. Let's recall. They're all names of my friends.
I like to think of them as doors to our sacred heart. So think of these as 4 doors to your sacred heart. And think of them as letting your, welcoming everything that comes in. Most people think that meditation or mindfulness or practices like this are very easy and feel good ones. To be honest, they are also sometimes discomforting and frustrating. And that's okay too. It's not that journey into the self often is, not all filled with great happiness and rainbows. So even sitting with that discomfort, even sitting with that sort of sense of a little bit of that not feeling easy, but knowing that it's going to be okay. So understanding that this time that we are in, this sort of time of COVID, where everything appears so shaky and uncertain, it's okay, it's all right, and this too shall pass. So I think having that is very crucial. But happiness, really that joy is very, very beautiful.
Right. And knowing you personally, I know that you personify all of this that you are saying. I don't know if I ever told you, a couple of years ago when you had come down to Ludhiana for this wedding, and I remember you were in Ludhiana for a couple of days, and one morning at the wedding function, I met you at my cousin's wedding function, and I met you. I'm like, hey, where are you coming from? Some Mendi laga rahe, where are you coming from? And you told me that, Raki, I just met the principal of Khalsa College. Was it?
That's right. That's right. College? It's an amazing college. It's a women's college. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So you told me that, I met the principal last night, and I told her what I do, and she's like, why don't you come around tomorrow and deliver a nice talk to the girls here in the college, for this all-girls college. And you know what? I just delivered this talk, and I came back, and I didn't want to charge anything for this. I'm like, wow, that sounds interesting. In this whole wedding scenario, how did you get time to just go and deliver a lecture at a college? And I remember what you told me is something I can never forget. You said, Raki, while I'm here, Ludhiana has given me so much. I've had so much fun at the wedding, and I want to give back to it before I go. And it left such a deep impression on my heart that, a little bit that we take from somewhere, we got to give that back. So I think that is where your compassion and your karuna came in. So I know you're like that. So let's remind everybody, somebody mentioned those 4 words of all those 4 girls that you're going to remember. It's Netri, Karuna, let me see if I get it right.
Mudita.
Mudita. Mudita. Right. We got it. Right.
We got it.
So yes, Sujata, some takeaway. I mean, it's very easy to fall low in a dark place like every other while. So what is it, any tool? You gave us the breathing tip and of course the immunity booster. What is it like a self-talk or something mentally that one could do to ease their mind, ease their soul, and take that pressure off and just be in that present moment?
Okay, so all you need is 2 things, which you already have. Regardless of where you're sitting, you have access to these 2. So I'm going to ask you and invite you just for a moment to sit comfortably wherever you are and pull the sides of your lips. So that's the first thing. Just pull the sides of your lips up like that. Yep, that's it. And you can also have an emoji, so you're smiling. So that's the first one. So smiling is a big one to do. I know it sounds very elementary, but oftentimes we hold a lot of tension in the jaw line here. And this sort of, it is like a TMJ. So it really presses into the jaw and you may feel very tense without knowing that you're really tense. So just moving the jaw around from side to side and really releasing that tension. Immediately that tension relaxes.
Like
And I often, I just move it from side to side. And then like a piranha fish, it's a face only a mother could love, but just drawing your teeth forward and back and just releasing that stress there. So that's one thing that I do. And the other is, like I said, the access to the breath, because the breathing, our thoughts are the sort of, they ride upon the breath. And the breath is the bridge between the body and the mind. So oftentimes really just, inviting ourselves to that bridge of the breath. And a very easy technique to calm yourself down is to double the exhalation as to the inhalation. So if you're breathing in, let's say 3 counts, you breathe out 6 counts or 8 counts. And immediately you'll find that you calm down a lot more. So that's my sort of go-to thing to do. And I hope that helps people. Yeah.
Yeah. There is Sheetal in the house, and she's saying she's learning all this from Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Oh, that's brilliant! Wow, that is
yes. Master Patanjali's Yoga Sutras is an amazing text to go to, particularly for yoga teachers. If there are yoga teachers in the house, I'm just so excited to be offering next weekend, which is a prenatal yoga teacher training. It's a 20-hour continuing education for teachers. And I'd love for, whoever's interested to write to me at yogawithsujata@gmail.com. So, Rakhi, if you could type that in the chat box. And that way people can reach out if they want to. And this actually counts towards your hours. If you're, a Yoga Alliance certified person, then it counts towards your hours of, continuing education requirement. And if you're sitting at home and wondering what to do, then learning skills, like this course might just be the thing. And, it might give us an opportunity to know us better. And you may end up learning techniques. So if you're into women's allied health, or if you're into fields that work with women's reproductive health, public health, or yoga, and you want to increase your repertoire of teaching, then this might be absolutely it for you. My email address is right there for anyone. It's yogawithsujata@gmail.com. Thanks, Hari Iyer, for that one from Bangalore, for the thumbs up. It makes me so happy. Yeah. So that's definitely, I want to plug that in because it's a great course. And, while I do, I've offered it multiple times, this is the very first time that I'm going to be offering it online. And the great part is that it's counted as contact hours. Because of the pandemic, the Yoga Alliance says, that it'll count as contact hours. So there, it's a win-win situation for everyone.
Right. Great. So we've got people, you've got tips for people taking care of themselves at the level of their diet, at the level of the mind. Do you wanna talk about what is your favorite ritual during the lockdown right now in your family, and who all are there in your family, and tell us your favorite ritual these days?
Okay, so the favorite rituals. You are a smart cookie, Rakhi. You want all the secrets out in half an hour.
Yes, absolutely.
But it's fine and fantastic to share, because sharing is caring, and that's the best way to do it, right? So the way I like to do it is exactly like you. I will have lots of water. So hydration is very important. Right hydration is even better. So drink lots through the day. When I get up, I like to gargle, because I teach a lot from home. So, whether it's corporate wellness, or whether it's yoga teaching, or wellness, or one-on-one sessions on wellness and well-being that I do with clients, I'm constantly talking. So it's important to gargle. And these family rituals. So what do I put in my gargling water? Again, I put in haldi or turmeric. I put in salt. And the biggest secret for me is soda bicarb or baking soda. So just a little teaspoon again of that in warm water. And I gargle it right in the beginning. If I have a long teaching day, let's say I'm doing 10 hours of teaching straight, Then I take some oil, which is sesame oil or coconut oil, and pure sesame oil, and I gargle it. So I just take it in my mouth and just gargle it. It's not to swallow, so please don't swallow it, and then spit it out. Okay, so just once you gargle it, so it helps to give you a good voice and protects the upper respiratory tract in a very beautiful way. We eat together, we cook together. So oftentimes, we hang out together. So my husband's at home, my two boys are at home, which is absolutely wonderful. And it's great because, we all come together, we play board games, or all of it is, olive oil is not so good. Someone asked me if olive oil is okay. Olive oil doesn't give the sort of, so sesame oil or coconut oil are great for the throat. In any case, if you don't have any of them, olive oil may be okay, but my go-to oils are coconut and yes. So those are good to have. And then through the day, having things that are good. I have my dinner really early, so by the time it's 6:30, I'm done. So I give the body a little rest right through until the next morning, let's say about 10:30 or so. So you might call it a little bit of intermittent fasting, perhaps, or even, just giving yourself, I wouldn't say you have to go hungry, but definitely it's very important to give the body rest and give it a little bit of a break. So it's always good to do that.
Yeah. So in fact, that's one ritual that I have also started doing in the past 2 weeks, intermittent fasting. So I literally eat with the sunrise and, with the sunset. After sunset, I stop eating. So again, my dinner is done by max 7 o'clock. And then for the next 12 to 13 hours, I would just have water and nothing else. And I think it just works amazingly on your system. You give that sort of rest to your body and to your digestive system. So I think it's brilliant. Here, Sujata, I want to bring in one question that perhaps is on everybody's mind. So this is one time, and it has never happened before, that the entire family has to live together under one roof.
Yes.
It's always great to have space in relationships. People are going out and then coming back in, and no one's really used to staying together, right? Throughout. And everyone's different. Even if you're in one family, everybody is different. They have different temperaments. And in fact, there is somebody asking here as well, how do you bring the family together? Everybody's living in separate rooms and different schedules and all of that. So if you want to throw some light there on relationships. Okay, so we've done body, diet, mind, breath. Let's come to relationships.
Well, relationships are the trickiest, aren't they? And I think as people stay with each other, and this is true for us as well, because we are thrown together, we can talk about compassion, but when it comes to our own close family, we tend to be a little more edgy. We tend to be a little more sort of, at our edge and lose patience often. So my whole thing would be really, please be kind to the people you share space with. And how do you involve, and Rakhi is sort of requested if I could do another segment on parenting, and that's something that we are going to look at next week, hopefully, and offer you specific tips on involving children and how you might work with children. But for today's purposes, I'd say relationships are the relationship that you have with yourself, right? Your relationship with yourself. This is the biggest one,
right? Most important.
Because if if you give yourself negative talk or abusive conversations with yourself in your mind, that's the most toxic of all. So no virus is as virulent as the hatred, self-abusing talk that you would be giving to yourself. So particularly important in these times to be extra kind, extra gentle, and extremely sort of caring to yourself. So that's the first one, your relationship with yourself. Then is your relationship with the people who share your space. So they are your children, they are people who are your helpers or people who are near you. Then there are people who are people that you interact with every day on your work handles, or colleagues or friends, or your network of Facebook friends, or people like colleagues and your, you know, people who are sort of in your ecosystem, if you like. And then there is the ecosystem of beings at large, beings around you, that like absolutely everyone. And these are people who help to sustain you, to help to, you know, shape how your life is. So you want to have a sense of extreme kindness towards all of these, because they are the ones who help you know, you on a daily basis. So extending that sort of sphere or a radar of light and a bubble of gentleness towards all of them is important. And it's important to acknowledge that, you know, sometimes you do goof up, and it's okay to goof up as well. But it's okay to say, I did goof up, and, you know, coming back and saying, I can do better. And for me, I generally, you know, if I end up having that sort of a situation, at the end of the day, I just sit down for about 20 minutes a day. Or if you know, I sometimes start my day with meditation. And through that meditation, just allowing yourself to be, and you know, being there for someone. And I love this phrase. It's called being to be, but without being anything. So to be with someone without expectation and judgment. Because the moment you judge someone, the first thing that happens is that you know, that moment you turn into what you are judging someone else. So if you're saying that someone else is X, Y, or Z, you know, you end up in that moment, that's your own value towards yourself. So I would say, you know, don't judge anyone. You're not holier than anyone. You're not higher or lower than anyone. You just are. So just be, you know, and it's important to respect that.
I want to get very cheeky here, okay? So I want to know, you and Prashant, it's your husband Prashant, right? It's been over a month. Now, don't tell me you have always had karuna and you've always been compassionate. I'm sure there have been situations where you're like, what the hell, man? Just give me my space and get out of here. You know, initially when I noticed that Adish was at home all the time and he was not going to work, I'm like, oh gosh, I have to entertain kids all day. I have to make sure they're homeschooling, and I'm still trying to run my work from home and all of this. And then Adish is home, and you know, when he's home, he'd be like, okay, let's have lunch together. You know, let's chat now, and let's. I was like, okay, when are you going back to work? So have you had situations like these? And also, you know, perhaps maybe you and Prashant have a great bonding and say a level-mindedness, but it might not be possible between every couple, right? And more than anything, I think it's a very struggling time for a homemaker. You know, this is the first time a homemaker, a woman, is really getting respected for her due respect and recognition for the work she's always done. So if you have any tip, you know, how you sort of navigate through this and how people can have a smooth time at home, having a balance of relationships and a balance of mind.
Yes, so I think enough.
Yes, Prashant, I'm reading that.
So I think it's important to acknowledge that, you know, if you are around people, there is obviously, you know, irritation and anger and frustration. And sometimes, you know, all of it is valid because, you know, you don't have anywhere else to go. And particularly if, you know, I would say just look at how you feel. You know, are you the kind of person that likes to be home and come back home to your family? If that's the case, then, you know, you have a good relationship. But for a lot of us, unfortunately, you are in a situation where you want to run away from home, and work or going out of the house is one way to escape the abusiveness of it, or, you know, the trauma or the sadness in the house. So I think it's important to acknowledge where everyone is at this time, and to say that, yes, it's very important to know that there could be times when, you know, things don't look very great or you know, amazing, or you know, to have a rainbow in every situation. But rainbows occur when it rains, and when there are clouds, and when there is, you know, some darkness even. So knowing that it's a good time to know and understand each other. And really looking, you know, for agenda for yourselves. So in our house, we have 2 boys, and all of us have separate rooms. Somebody is saying, yes, give them enough work so they're all busy. That's true. If you don't have things to do, you will end up sort of feeling frustrated. So giving yourself an agenda, something to do that's tangible. And I like to say, go beyond yourself and look at a bigger picture. How can you support your community? How can you support your highest reason for being in this world? How can you reach where you want to reach? What are your dreams? Something that, 10 years ago, you might have thought, oh, I'm raising kids, I don't have time for this. Or I'm chasing a career, I don't have time for this.
Hang on. You're avoiding my question. I want to know, how many times have you and Prashant fought? And
every single day.
And especially for all the men in the house. Guys, are you helping the women, or are you demanding? Are you splitting the list of work to do at home? Please, all the men in the house, I'd love to see something written there. What is that kindness that you are showing to your spouse right now? And Sujata, don't tell me you've never had a fight with Prashant.
No. So I'm just saying that I'm very blessed in that, my husband is a great chef. If some of you know already, if you've been to our house, you know that chances are that he would have cooked you the dinner. And of course, when all this blows over, we can obviously talk over dinner some point in time. But definitely, having a division in terms of who does what, I think is always good, and not being in each other's spaces. So really giving, creating healthy boundaries. So if you have the physical boundary, I know that there are some households where, you're fighting for the conference room or fighting for whatever. So I think it's important for people to allow that sense of freedom for yourself, and, whatever space that you want for yourself, extend it to others as well. So who are sharing that space.
You want to read these amazing comments the men are putting in. So Rohit Bhaskar says, we've learned all kind of household work in the past 39 days. And we've got Rajat Bhargav. He says, we keep helping, but the work increases for her. Now, how is that possible, Rajat? If you're helping, how can the work increase for her? Right. So there are less number of cleaners in the building. Guys in my home ready to clean common areas. Guys, time to show kindness. You gotta get out and give a hand to your spouses. And super chef. I see a lot of men turning into chef.
Yep, for sure.
Getting into the kitchen.
Yes, I think it's fair to say that everyone pitches in whichever capacity, including the kids as well. So next week we should talk about parenting a little more, and I absolutely loved today. So I would say that.
In fact, for all the go ahead. Sorry.
So it's absolutely amazing. I think today's conversation was so fun. I just had a great time. Learning Instagram Live for the first time was a first for me. So this was absolutely fabulous. And everyone, you rocked with your comments and your, it was just absolutely fabulous. And I'm looking forward to more lives with you here.
I know. Absolutely amazing. Yes. In fact, just this morning, I posted my new video, I just posted my new video, which is all about how me and my family, we are surviving through this crisis and staying positive. So, it's like life at home. So that video is there on IGTV, and it's also there on YouTube. So guys, do check that out. It's got some fun things that we are doing with our kids. We're going to go with parenting deeper next week, but there's some amazing things in this video also. You can go and check that out. And anybody has any question for Sujata right now, or for me, if I could support, please put them in right now before we go ahead and.
No, but I'm just so grateful for all the lovely comments. Thank you for your good positive energy and for vibing with me today, and with Rakhi as well. We're just so happy to be riding this wave of positivity, and together we are just weaving this web of super positiveness. So thank you, Rupal Ben from Bombay. Thank you. Thank you thank you for Urvi from Gandhinagar. This is just outstanding. Awesome. This is just gorgeous. I'm going to wrap up now. Sending you all my love from here.
Wow.
And,
And guys, one more thing, Sujata said, move your body. Like whenever you're feeling low, play on some music. In fact, for us, we have like a music for every mood. So just play on some music, get your grooves on.